This is Classic FM.
Now, is there one really big operatic role that you haven't sung yet, which you really want to do?
It's hard to say, really, because I'm so enjoying the variety at the moment. You know, I've got like 3 different careers going on, really. I'm still obviously an opera singer and making a living as that, but I'm presenting a lot more, and obviously I've got my advertising career that runs kind of parallel to everything else. So it's interesting because a few years ago I stopped singing the lyric roles and focused more on the comedy roles.
I see.
Because it just suits my personality more, and I feel happier to do that. And so I've really enjoyed doing operas that aren't the standard repertoire, things like the Cunning Little Vixen. I did Anna Nicole at Covent Garden last year. You know, it was like, it's not so much the roles. I love singing the roles. It's the artistic challenge that I want now, to create new stuff and with directors, and to work at good houses. You know, if you're working at a good house like Covent Garden, I work a lot in Lyon at the Opera House there. That's so satisfying to be, you know. I never forget the day, you know. This was another funny thing that happened to me once. The day I made my debut at Covent Garden, I walked into stage door, right? And I'm a big boy, right? I walked into stage door and there's a girl working behind the desk there. And I said, "Oh, hello, I'm a new guest artist." And she said, "Are you with the opera or ballet?" I was like, "What do you think, love?"
Well,
have a look at my
ballet,
stomach. So, and you know, standing in the middle of that stage at Covent Garden, looking out, you know, it's just a dream, really. And just long may that continue, really.
Do you suffer from pre-performance nerves?
I have. It's funny because singers don't want to talk about that.
No, I could understand that.
But I'm happy to talk about it because I think a lot of singers suffer from it. As your voice changes as you get older, it matures, you get a better tone, but it becomes more... I found performing became more stressful. And in 2004, my mother passed away, and I was in the middle of singing Rigoletto at the time, the Duke in Rigoletto. And I just went back to work too soon, and it just affected my nerves. And it wasn't so much on the day of a performance; it was the night before. I would get, you know, people say a cold sweat, and it really was. You know, I was in a cold sweat, couldn't sleep, and just didn't want to go on the stage, which for me was unusual.
Yes.
And I kind of, it was a difficult thing because you can't really talk to anybody. Because if you show a weakness, people then go, "Oh, well, he's finished." You know, he's had it.
Isn't it?
It's a very, very difficult time. And it was only with, you know, the support of my family and, you know, I had some hypnotherapy and stuff like that, that I was able just to focus on, actually, do you know what? When we were singing, 99% of the audience have come to have a great time.
Yes.
And they want you to do as well as you can.
They're on your side.
They are, yeah. I mean, we focus so much as singers on critics and what the critics think, but they make up such a tiny percentage of the audience that we should just focus on. And what I've tried to focus on since, and what's really helped me, is just getting out there and thinking, right, I'm here to entertain these people. You know, they've paid good money to come. They're not watching X Factor, and so it is my responsibility to entertain these people. And that is why, you know, I now class myself, without sounding like Brucey, I now class myself as an entertainer, really, because we're in that business. And I think with opera, sorry, I'm banging on you, but with opera, it's very, very easy to kind of go, "Oh, well, look, this is our art form." And you know,
perhaps be a bit precious
and be
about
a bit precious
it.
with it, and we shouldn't be. You know, we should just be out there. I remember having a huge stand-up argument with a director who will remain nameless, who was talking about the fourth wall. You know, forget the audience are there. There's a fourth wall there. Live in the moment, which is fine. But if we forget the audience are there, then we may as well be at home.
Yes.
You know, we need to entertain. We need to make a connection with those people who have paid to see us on the stage, and I think that is crucial when you're performing.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's terribly important. And to build up a rapport with the audience as well.
Absolutely. You know, I think as well in concerts, you know, if you build that rapport up with the audience, you can sing Bar Bar Black Sheep.
Yes.
And and they're with you. You know, so it's important to have that, you know, little bit of you. And I think it's the same with presenting as well. If you let the audience in to how you are, you know, this is me, this is, you know, and say things like, yeah, I've suffered with stage fright, yeah, I've suffered with this, and they feel they know you better, and they're able then to relate to you better as a human being.
Yeah. Now, when you were growing up, which were the singers that really inspired you?
Well, like every other tenor, really. I mean, it was Mario Lanza, because that was, you know, that was the era, really. And so that's how I really got into singing, was through Lanza. And then, something that was absolutely crucial to me was that Three Tenors concert in Rome, because I was just about to start my singing at the Guildhall, and you see these three tenors going out having fun.
Yes.
You know, taking these. It's hard when you come. I'm not saying, you know, I lived in a shoebox, but it's hard when you come from West Wales, and you know your family aren't from an operatic background, and yet you decide, oh, okay, I'm going to make a living in classical music. And then you start to think, oh, am I clever enough to do that? You know, is it the right thing for me to do? But actually, to see the three tenors, you know, singing Federico's Lament and La Donna Immobile and whatever, and then just the crowd going nuts and just having a great time, you think, yeah, this is what it's about. You know, these guys are really singing. So, I mean, Pavarotti, I know at the Classical Brits this year, they honoured him, you know, with a posthumous Lifetime Achievement Award. But I think we mustn't underestimate the importance of Pavarotti, because he was the greatest technician of our generation. Absolutely no question. You listen to that voice, every note is bang in the right place. It's absolutely beautiful to listen to.
Yes, it is.
You never feel stressed listening to him. And it's one of those voices that as soon as it comes on, you go, Pavarotti. And that's, you know, not somebody with a trained ear. Everybody, you just go, yeah, I know that voice. That's just, and to have that is gold. Absolute liquid gold that comes out of his mouth. And Jose Carreras described him last week as, you know, sunshine. Yeah, and it really is like sunshine.
Yes, that's a really good way of describing him, and the voice. Now, Wales has a fine tradition of producing really great singers. Why do you think that is? Opportunity.
I'm convinced of it, because being a singer in Wales is not an odd thing to do. You know, you can enter an Eisteddfod, or my parents used to run a theatre, bizarrely. It makes me sound like Mickey Rooney, but you know, we sort of nip off to the theatre, put on a show. So there was always the opportunity to perform. Yes. And I think in Wales we embrace that as part of our culture. I'm not saying they don't in other places, but especially, you know, singing, we're the land of song. You know, singing is very important to us. And so when somebody sings, it's just like, okay, you're very good at singing. You're very good at playing rugby, you know, and they go hand in hand. Do you know what I mean? You're allowed to be a singer there.
Yes.
In the same way that somebody in another country might be, you know, it's cool to be a sportsman. Well, in Wales, it's cool to be a singer. Well, not that I'm cool. My children think I'm the most uncool person ever. My daughter,
children always do, though.
My daughter's just started high school, right? She said to me the other day, I was taking her into school. She was going on a week away, and I pulled up and I said, I get your case out of the boot. And she goes, do not get out of the car. I said, why? She said, I don't want people to know that you're my father. So, yeah, I'm not cool anymore. I don't think I ever was.
This is Classic FM.